name is Len Morris, and this is Jake Logan. And we'll share this a little bit of the structure, and then let you guys ask whatever questions you want to ask, and we'll share with you anything that we know. But back at the beginning of this year, Dave Hawkins and I made an investment alongside of John Hall in the Goshen Air Center. And so there's kind of two sections of it. There is the fuel portion of it and the FBO up there, and then there is the maintenance facility. And we're going to focus on talking about the maintenance facility today. John is still majority owner, but per kind of our operating agreement, I have most of the responsibility of working with Jake. So if there's something that you don't like, it probably needs to come to me because so to speak, the buck stops with me on those things. Even though John is majority owner and he could overwrite what I say, he's empowered me to make what decisions need to be made. We have created a fuel committee down there, and I don't want to talk about that very much right now, but we've got a group of people that are looking at how we buy fuel, how we price fuel, how we service you with fuel, so that we can be looking at strategically how do we get you the best deal possible. And so you could learn more about that as we grow and develop that. But as you can see, we've assembled a strong team here with a lot of experience, and some of the biggest experience is kind of lurking in the back. Terry and Scott, why don't you come on up here where everybody can get a really good look at you, guys.
Not too close.
Two things that I really want to see us accomplish. First of all, I want to see us accomplish taking care of everyone who has a plane that is based here on the field. We want to be able to be your maintenance provider. Unless you have kind of something a little more special, then we probably want to get tools for a Challenger. But unless you want to get 3 of them, then we would definitely invest in the tools. But all the GA planes that are here, we want to be really competent at taking care of your aircraft and being able to be incredibly transparent during the process. And so if there's one word that I want to lead this organization with, it's going to be the word transparency. I want to make sure that you have an estimate before any work is begun, and you have had the opportunity to sign and agree to that estimate. I've taken my plane to plenty of black hole shops, and if any of you, the airplane owners, know what a black hole shop is. You send it in there and you have no idea when it's coming out or what your bill's going to be. And we're going to answer both of those questions before your airplane comes in. Now, Len, what about all those unknowns? Well, we're going to tell you this is our projected out date, and if anything changes, you're going to get a daily update on what has changed. Oh, parts aren't available. Here is the best knowledge that we have right now. And we're going to be transparent about whatever knowledge that we have. So we want to lead you with transparency on that all along the way, and getting daily communication. That's been a challenge to push all of us to daily communication, but anyone who's experienced it, we've gotten a lot of words of thanks and appreciation for that. One of the next things that we want to become is we want to become experts in Citation 500 series aircraft. I believe there are a lot of these out there that still have quite a bit of life in them, and they need a lot of maintenance, and we believe that there's a need to be taking care of those. So we're going to be continuing to grow our capabilities to be able to take care of those, because frankly, let's call it what it is. That's what's going to pay the bills more than flight school airplanes. I think we all understand what those economics mean. So we want to be seeing more of these in here, and anything you can do to be loyal and support us. And Jake will talk a little bit about the breadth and depth of experience of some of his teammates on here, and how incredibly skilled they are, and how incredibly skilled this team over here is at coming up and being able to learn from some really sharp and intelligent guys. Jake, what do you got for us?
All right, so yeah, you can see all the guys in their shirts here. Right now we have 7 A&Ps. That's counting Terry, who's up in the office, and Scott, who kind of bounces back and forth. And we have 3 apprentices right now. I'll kind of go through and introduce everybody. And we've got Brian, our parts guy. He's been doing parts forever. If he can't find it, I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. It might be buried in a field somewhere. But yeah, Brian is the best parts guy I've ever seen. And Scott, he's got a lot of certifications in structures and composites. We're blessed to have him with a lot of especially with the diamond here on the field, and we're doing a major corrosion repair on this citation. We're blessed to have that knowledge and for him to be able to train these younger guys on that, because without guys like that, then it takes a long time to get that experience. So we're blessed to have him here to teach these guys. Terry, he's been around Goshen for 7, 8 years now. So he's kind of worked his way up to the lead in the organization on this side of things. He's got a lot of experience in the pistons and on the citation side of things. Noah was our mechanic down at our Trinity Aerospace shop that Lynn and I started about 1.5 years ago. We recently brought him down here to help manage the shop floor. His experience is for anything from GA all the way up to 747s and everything in between. A lot of King Air experience, a lot of PT6 experience. Mike's been here for a few years now, 1 year now. We're really breaking him in hard on the citations, but he's just all around structures, piston aircraft all over. Wade's been with us since about the first of the year. His background is World War II aircraft, radial engines, and just engines in general. So we're blessed to have him here for weird engine trouble, running troubles. When Lynn's Beech 18 breaks down, then we know who to call. Wade's actually going to be transitioned to help me more down at the FBO and keep some of the equipment going and get it fixed up down there, and kind of manage the fueling things in the mornings and stuff for me. So that transition is going to happen Monday. Braden, he's one of our apprentices. He came from AgriFlight, was it? AgriFlight, kind of working on their air tractors starting out, and then we brought him in. So he's up and coming, but great energy. He's quick to learn, and we really enjoy having him around. Isaac, he's getting ready to go back to school to finish his last semester of A&P school. So we wish him luck there. He leaves in mid-August. So we'll see what happens if he can graduate, and if he wants to come back and work with us. We'll see how that goes. Joe, he's been here for about 2 years. A year. So Joe's kind of he's very up and coming on being very strong in avionics and electrical systems. So that's kind of his main focus, as well as on the GA side. And then Drew is another apprentice. He's been here for probably getting close to a year now. Yeah. And then he worked on the line some as well. So he came full time here in the last month or so. So we got all these older guys that can help these younger guys kind of pull panels. They've got to have 3 years of experience before they can go take their A&P tests. So they get a lot of good oversight from these guys that have been doing it forever. And then we've got one more guy who will start in August. His name is Ethan. He is about 1 year out of A&P school. He's been working, mainly doing structures. They're building some type of newer version of the Kodiak for a different company. So he's been building that aircraft. So he starts in August. So that's kind of the team. So Goshen Air Center is a Part 145 repair station versus just like a normal A&P having his shop. I asked Noah to kind of talk briefly about what's the difference between a repair station and what just like a normal shop would be.
Sure. I won't bore you with a 4-hour lecture on the minute details between the difference, but at the basic, a 145 repair station is required to operate differently. We're required to maintain an inventory system of parts and maintain traceability for each part that we put on a customer's airplane. 145 repair stations are required to have a DOT-approved drug screening program. As an individual A&P, there's no requirements for that. The paperwork standards for a 145 repair station, we have to maintain a system of records of the work that we do that is more comprehensive and detailed than an individual A&P is required. The performance standards for work on aircraft is the same as an A&P. We're just held to more paperwork, better traceability on parts, and hold our individuals to a higher level of expectation as regards to personal behavior and ethics. Any questions on any of that? If you have any questions, feel free to see me after the meeting. I can bore your ears off.
So being a repair station, it allows us to have the possibilities to do other things. Right now, our current capabilities is any aircraft, a metallized aircraft under 12,500 pounds. We can work here. We have to have the manuals to do it, but we can work on them here. And then I have a list here of other aircraft we're allowed to work on, like the Diamond DA-20s, 40s, some of the Cirrus aircraft, the Cessna Columbia, some of the composites. We have to apply and show the FAA that we can actually work on those aircraft and have the knowledge to do it. And then they'll give us permission to work on that aircraft. So we're held in that way to a lot higher standard because we have to actually prove to the FAA that we can do it and have the knowledge to do it. So a lot of the King Air 90, 200, 300s we can work on down here. Citation 500 series, 560s, the CJs, Beach Jets, all those are on our certificate.
Well, let's you guys jump in. What do you want to know about Goshen Air Center on the mechanic side of things?
How's your availability as far as taking on new projects? Are you pretty full up right now, or I guess that'd be a question for Terry.
Yeah, Terry and Noah, what do you want? I'll answer. The answer is yes. We're looking for a project. The availability.
Pretty open right now. Do you have a large inspection end of September? And other than that, we have pretty good advance.
We had a Dock 6 get moved back.
Yeah.
And so that actually has created, there's a hole currently.
We've about, I would say, close to tripled our workforce in the last 6 months. So we were able to get things in and out a lot faster. So that availability is definitely a lot better than it has been in the past.
What kind of project?
Well, I got nothing right now. But,
If you're flying an airplane, it's just bound to
probably
happen.
King Air inspection, or maybe possibly even a Beach Jet inspection. But,
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about that later. So.
Excellent.
I know it's not a big money maker, but what's the future look like for fabric airplanes here?
So if we want to do fabric airplanes, we'll have to add it to our certificate with the FAA. So there's
Is that make and model, or is that grouping?
make and model.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay for you to add my work. Forward.
It doesn't really cost anything other than the manuals to do it. It's just the time, the time to write the documents and the forms we have to fill out and do it. But
much like the Challenge or the Beach Jet and the King Airs. One thing I mentioned to everybody here, but we also have resources with contractors that specialize in certain areas that we call in when needed. Not that we don't have the experience, but we may not have current experience, but we have the resources to call upon them when we need them. And literally bring them in to work on that aircraft, train, work with, or oversee to make sure it is done to the utmost quality.
While we're on the topic of bringing in outsiders, as far as the static system OC checks every 2 years, are you going to do that in-house, or are you still going to continue to bring in Premier?
We're working on doing the static checks in-house. We currently don't have somebody certified at the moment, but we're in the process of. Okay. Joe's
Yep.
moving that direction.
yeah, we have to add it. Well, Lynn, do you want to speak?
There's a rumor that somebody may be negotiating to buy a avionics shop. I'll let you spread the rumors from there.
Yeah, don't tell anybody else.
Are you more limited by man-hours or floor space?
Man hours.
It depends on who you ask and what day it is. Yeah, like right now, we could squeeze one more airplane in here, but we have the ability to get creative with our moving into the hangar next door if we need to, or moving it if there's a plane on a trip, or we can reposition one down to another hangar so we can squeeze stuff in there. But I think the space will become less and less of an issue.
I certainly appreciate the update on progress. I'm starting to experience that. That was just saw the email. That was really great to hear. But I'd like to know, as you work forward, you understand that your citations are where some of the money is, and where, from that standpoint. But I've got a GA plane here that also has a schedule. How does the schedule get impacted by the bigger boys coming in and saying, I need mine turned as well? Do I follow the bottom of the line each time?
No, especially long term, we would like to have just like a piston team and a jet team.
Just a dedicated team?
Yeah. Right now, we kind of have that already. Guys are getting assigned to your aircraft, and they're pretty much just staying on that aircraft till it's done. Is the way we're doing it. We're not trying to. Once you start bouncing guys back and forth, that's not how things get missed and left loose and things like that. So we're really trying to keep guys just on one project to alleviate some of that.
Specifically for yours, Enos, I know you've had this in the past, and previously and earlier when you first got into this, sometimes you get pushed aside because of the charters that come in with an emergency. And much like Jake has mentioned, we have tripled in size, and that's specifically why Noah is down here to assist with that. So there's always a team readily available to go for aircraft of yours without sacrificing your aircraft schedule just because something broke down.
Yeah, I think that's appreciated. I understand that there's pressure and there's schedules, and there's planes that make money and there's those planes that fly for fun. But on the other hand, we still would like a schedule that you can at least target.
Don't worry, I'm gonna make money if you ain't.
No, Lynn and I obviously have airplanes, and we've had airplanes down for annuals for a year, and it's like, come on, guys. It's like a Stinson 108. It shouldn't take a year for an annual. You could build the whole airplane faster. So we get that, like getting pushed off and things like that. So that's something we strive to, just because we've been there. We know what you're going through. We fly every day. So yeah, you're preaching to the choir here.
So hear and understand what everybody hear that. An AOG is always going to have precedence. Okay, somebody that comes in and their airplane is AOG, flat tire, something, starter, alternator, something small. It goes beyond that, like it comes in and it needs totally rebuilt. Well, that's a project that then gets scheduled. But we are structured so that the people that are working on your aircraft are still going to deliver your aircraft on the out date that we have given you. And we're not going to allow some other aircraft to slide in to the schedule on a project and knock you out of the space that you've been allotted to in the schedule. That will be our way of operating that. Did I make that clear on what a hierarchy would be?
It's rare that we have an AOG aircraft here, but every now and then somebody will land and get a flat tire, or we had somebody out the first Friday, their starter came loose and we had to fix that. But it's typically, they are not from here. We got to get them off the field and back home. So.
And just because a year ago I wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about with AOG.
Aircraft
on the ground.
Yeah.
It's stuck.
Yes.
Yep. We've been there. I'm sure most of you guys have been there. You're just hoping somebody will help you out. So.
Usually you learn what that term means when one is in front of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you are one.
Yeah, when you are one is when you learn that. Yep. And you're just praying the shop will get to you so you can get home and see your family. So.
One thing out of that, Enos, Roger, you know this. A couple of you ran into this. ACS. You're gone. You're at another airport. Your aircraft breaks down, or you're in another facility, and you're not getting a straight answer or the quality, or you feel hostage at that facility. We're still here for you. We have your back. Roger's done it before. Come to us. Could you look at this, please, and help me with that? And if we need be, we can give you advice or pull your airplane, or we're there for you. Because we maintain your aircraft on a regular basis, we want to follow through, and we don't want to see you get caught in another facility and get hung up either. So, and most of the facilities around here we work well with anyway. So.
Yeah, aviation's a small community. All the shops know each other. All the mechanics know each other. All the pilots know each other. It's like you can fly halfway across the country and see somebody you know. It's happened.
What else would you guys like to know?
What else would you like to see?
Free maintenance.
We're working on that. It's a subscription model. What advice do you have for us?
What have you seen in other shops that would work well here?
Ah, good question.
Inflatable paint booths.
Yeah.
That could be a down the road thing. I would love to see paint and interior here at some point, but
Then you got EPA issues and all
yeah.
that stuff.
A lot of.
Once you start doing painting, it creates a whole other situation.
Yeah.
Are you open to a fuel question?
Sure.
Super low hanging fruit. I think you guys use QuickBooks to take care of your accounting. That if you would make it so like QuickBooks Online, so I can just pay my fuel invoice whenever I get the email saying I have an invoice due instead of having to drive by and run a credit card. That would be low hanging fruit.
So right now we use Sage, but you're always welcome to call in and pay over the phone with a credit card.
Probably see that change in about 6 months.
Yeah.
We got about 6 months to be able to make an accounting change. Need to finish this year out with Sage.
Yep. Low lead prices just dropped today, 32 cents a gallon. So that's good. So hopefully,
It happened today.
happened literally today.
You fueled yesterday, didn't you?
It was like 4:30 yesterday.
It could have been.
Speaking of our fuel committee, the chairman, the preeminence,
I am not the chairman.
You are now.
Todd is gonna be helping out at looking at all those creative ideas like that Boyd on the fuel side of things, particularly on 100 low lead, flanked by Roger, because he buys more 100 low lead than anybody. Well, we can wrap up here as a large group. You guys, any of you that have employed anyone else, know about what this is charging us per hour to have all of the staff standing around here, and so we want to use this time wisely, or we'll start billing you for it. But we do want to make these guys available to you. Any questions you have, if you've got an airplane in here, you want to talk about something, we can go ahead and do that. I would be nice to be wrapping up by 3:30. Yes.
I have a question. What would you guys be opposed to discussing possibly having Swift 94 on the field?
Hey, who?
Swift 94. It's an unleaded option. I'm not opposed to it at all. Avfuel's feeling is by 2030, like the federal government's going to say, we have to can't sell low lead anymore, and we have to get some other sort of fuel. So there's not a set date for that to happen, but it's going to happen. We're going to be forced to do it. But if there'd be enough demand for it, then yeah, we can definitely look into it. I know I looked at Michigan cities to see what they are, and they're like $1 something more a gallon than their 100 low lead. So it's also quite a bit more expensive of a fuel, at least there.
So one of the other answers to that is we're getting a new fuel farm, and the person who really controls the funding on that is not Goshen Air Center. That is the airport owned by the city. And so if I can pass the buck down to Randy Sharkey, he's the guy to be nudging and saying, hey, when we do that fuel farm, let's have a Swift tank in here too, as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to have an above ground fuel farm that's coming here in the next year or two. Just touch on it quickly. Repaving of the runway is going to happen either fall of 24 or spring of 25, depending on when the funds come in to do it, and when we can't start it too late in the year, or we're going to be stuck without a runway the entire winter. So it could happen spring of 25. Those are kind of the two big projects that are coming soon. So we're going to try to get the taxiway as a runway for a day VFR runway while that's down. They're expecting 4 to 8 weeks of the runway to be closed. So, and the grass will still be open as well. So that's something we got to keep an eye on, to have aircraft coming in and out for maintenance, as well as the flight school. Do you guys usually operate off taxiway?
We did the last time.
Okay. And for you guys with the jets, you guys use the taxiway or?
I wasn't here the last time.
Okay. So something we'll try to keep everybody in the loop on, because it's going to affect all of us when that happens. So.
We appreciate your loyalty. We appreciate your business transparency. If we ever violate that principle, please reach out to me and let me know. We want to make sure you know exactly what's going on with your aircraft.
If you fly this week, make sure you check the NOTAMs for the RC show.
Okay, we'll wrap up the formal part and move to the informal. If you want to talk to any of these guys, got any questions for them, jump in.